Hello there, my friend. Come on in. Take off your shoes. Get next to the fire. It's nice and warm. At least in here it is. How you doing tonight? You doing good? You may be wondering why we're just sitting here looking at a fire. Well, because it's time for the start of a new series. A bit more of a more chill and, not gonna lie, somewhat of a serious series. Not serious in the fact that it talks about serious topics, but it's just a series that's gonna be important to me. A series called The Tales of Lord Dragonfire. Now, I asked y'all on the poll if y'all would be interested in a lore series talking about my childhood. Majority said yes. I asked you what you wanted to hear first. Majority said my life story. I asked you how you wanted it to be. Majority said you would prefer to hear my voice with a fireplace background. So that's what we're doing today. In this video, I'm just going to be explaining my entire life story from the day I was born up to where we are to this point. I'm going to try to leave out as much filler and sub stories as possible so I can save those for other videos so we can, have a decent playlist of this. But honestly, this is going to be just a series about talking about me, bro. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way. Are you seriously freezing, bitch? Bitch ass camera. Don't you be freezing, bitch. I realize it's just a fireplace, but don't you be freezing, bitch. Sorry about that. I had to curse out my camera. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't mean talking about myself in an egotistical way. It's just now that we've passed 1,000 subs, I'm a real YouTuber now. I'm out here, making a little bit of money. I'm out here, got ads. I got a real following and everything. Survived a small Discord war in my Discord server. If you weren't there, don't worry about it. Sorry that was such a tongue twister for me. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm fucking tired. I don't fucking know. The intro of this is all over the place, but then again, that's just what this is. It's just about talking. It's just about taking a break from the spooky reactions, taking a break from the bullshit memes, just sitting down, just enjoying the flames, bro. Just enjoying the talking, bro. Even though I'm doing the majority. Now, if y'all find videos like these boring, that's fine and all. I'm just kind of doing these for me, and mostly because the majority who said y'all wanted them. I know someone's like, bro, will you just get to the fucking story? I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it, alright? So, without further ado, this is Tales of Lord Dragonfire, my life story, as much as I can remember it. One last look before we get started. Just to SpongeBoy82 or CJ Pals, if either of you want to make animations on these stories, you have my full permission. Go right ahead, my brothers. So, here we go. Our story begins in a place called St. Petersburg, Florida. I was born in the hospital under the name of Daniel Allen Palmer Blankenship. I was born to Bruce and Karen Blankenship, taken home in a little ass red truck to live in a small metal trailer. Now, the first few years of my life are very interesting because I'm not going to lie with you, they're full of near-death experiences. Now that I'm thinking about it, there was probably 4 to 5 times where I nearly died during my first 4 years of life. Now, I'm not saying that to be my parents were neglectful or anything. Some of them were somewhat of my fault. They were just unlucky experiences. But from what I can recall from my young childhood, firstly, the first time I was ever scared by something, I remember just waking up in my fucking crib. There's this big ass black cat in the window with these big ass yellow eyes, and at the time I didn't understand what it was. So all I knew, and I can actually tell you what I was thinking as a little baby to this day. I was thinking that thing's probably gonna hurt me if I move. So I just decided to just cry as much as I could to get my parents' attention. Not to mention, there was a time where I climbed up on a drawer to change the knobs on a TV. My fat baby ass pulls the drawer and the fucking TV down on top of me and doesn't hurt me, fortunately, but it scared the shit out of me. I had a little sandbox outside my trailer where I would play in all the time. The retarded jackass that lives next to us would pour out his cat's litter box underneath his air conditioner. So the water from the air conditioner would seep into, the cat shit. The water would roll down a hill and get into my fucking sandbox. So yeah, I had to play in that and got sick and almost died because of it. Then there was a time where I was out playing, it was all hot and shit. I decided my dumb ass wants to drink some milk. The milk curdles in my stomach, and that was the real kicker. That time I legitimately was in the hospital, hooked up to machines, and I almost died. I still remember to this day lying in the hospital bed with no urge to eat, no will to eat, no real nutrition needed in my body. And I just remember my mom just begging me to eat, bro, because I just wouldn't eat because I didn't feel like it. I wasn't hungry. I just kept telling her I wasn't hungry. I probably have gone through more near-death experiences as a toddler than most people have gone in their adult lives. And if you think any of these stories I'm saying are false, you can suck my dick out the back, buddy. I have no intentions of lying in any of these videos. Everything I'm saying is the truth. Okay? Motherfucker, I went through abuse as a little kid, bro. And there was this one time, I'm gonna jump ahead to where we get to our second house to where I live now, bro. Some motherfucker tried to run me over with a Jeep. I'm not kidding. Now, that could be my overreactive imagination, but I swear to God, bro, this is how I remember it. I'm on the sidewalk just doing my thing. There's this guy driving down the road in a green Jeep. Like a green, like little army Jeep. Not a literal army Jeep, but like kind of like the same model. This jackass drives onto the sidewalk and tries to hit me, and I jump into the fucking grass. He just drives off. I told my parents, but I don't think they believed me. My very childhood was just full of just abuse from the world, bro. It just seemed like I got my ass kicked by literally everything. My parents wanted a better life for me because they knew all the stuff I was going through was because of that trailer. So, we finally decided to move away to Kentucky. Where in Kentucky? Don't fucking worry about it. That's all you're getting from me. Just know I live in Kentucky. So, we bought a house. Well, we didn't really buy a house. We rented a house from a man named Mr. Munson. And instead of paying rent, my dad paid Mr. Munson back in free labor. So that was basically how our lives worked. My dad worked for Mr. Munson, and we got free rent. We were able to live there peacefully. Here in Kentucky is where I met my best friend, Chris DeVore. He's gone now, unfortunately, but we'll talk about that another time. He was really my best friend too. Rest in peace to you, Chris, bro. I'll be watching this video from heaven, my guy. But anyways, that is where we get into kind of like the weird school era of this story. So I eventually go into grade school, and kindergarten, first grade, and all that. Oh my God, bro! I fucking forgot about kindergarten. Jesus Christ. There's nothing really you need to know about kindergarten. Just know it was kind of an emotional time for me. I mean, yeah, I was a little kid, so fucking what, but just know I was not popular in kindergarten. People did not like me. The teachers did not like me. They did not like me at all, brother. I remember I was causing a disturbance in class one time. The teacher called my mom. When I got off the bus, my mom just looked at me and didn't say a word. She just stared at me. She took me home, took me into her bedroom, got the belt, and without saying a word, just literally started beating on me. That's how pissed off she was at me. Now, I was a little kid, so whether or not I deserved it is up for your interpretation. But just know I will never forget that, right? Getting off that bus and seeing my mom look at me like that, bro. Like she looked at me like she had every intention to beat my ass, bro. Like you know how like in memes like you say like moms just have like that look like, oh yeah, as soon as we get home I'm gonna beat your ass. Yeah, That's the kind of look she gave me, bro. Bro, growing up in grade school, I was bullied a lot, bro. There was this one girl who was like, I don't know if she had like mental issues or something, but she was a lot older than the rest of us. She was like a special case. She was like held back a lot. She thought I was cute or whatever, so she would always like bully me on the bus, bro. She'd always be sitting next to me. I don't know if she liked me or something. But bro, I was like 6 years old. I didn't care about no girls, bro. So I would just beg this big old bitch to just leave me the fuck alone, bro. One time she told me to say the alphabet. I just fucking did the whole thing just to appease her. She still wouldn't leave me the fuck alone. First grade was just kind of just nothing but bullshit. Second grade's where it gets interesting though, because as I was sitting in those classes, it was fine at first, but I always found myself disturbing all the other kids because I didn't want to do my schoolwork. I didn't want to really do any of that. I wasn't interested. So what my teachers in my school literally did is that they separated me from the rest of the class. I'm not even joking. I had my own private desk in the back of a class. And plusly there was like this wall partially covering me from the teacher. So I was literally back there like kind of like private. Like the teacher could barely see me. None of the kids could interact with me. I had my own private like study area in the back of class. Now I'm thinking about it, that was pretty fucked up. But at the time, I thought it was cool because I could basically do whatever I wanted, and the teacher couldn't really see it. So I would always, be bringing weird stuff from home. I brought a Game Boy to school once and played it in the back of class. No one ever found it, but it was pretty fun being able to do that. Now, it was found out that I have ADHD and ADD and stuff like that, and I had to get therapy for those kind of things. But the school, back in the early 2000s, we didn't really have information about like autism and stuff like that we do now. So they tried to remedy me from making me go to like this special counselor or something, and she would just, I don't know, maybe like ask me questions and shit. But the main thing I remember is that she would make me jump on a trampoline a bunch of times to get energy out of my system so that I wouldn't be so hyper. So basically, I would go every Friday. I would like go to like this room. I would jump on a trampoline like 100, maybe 200 times, and then after I was done, I'd get a fruit roll up, and that was like the greatest day in school for me because I got to go get out of class to jump on a trampoline to get a fruit roll up. I thought it was fun, but no, the teachers were trying to remedy my over exaggerated energy and shit like that. So my parents were figuring out how they were treating me because when I got in trouble, they also did weird shit too. When I got in trouble sometimes, I would go into the principal's office, and the principal would put me in his closet with a desk and make me do schoolwork. Now, if that sounds strange, imagine how strange it was living it. Okay, imagine you're out of school, right? You go into the principal's office and you have to sit in his closet and at a desk and do your schoolwork because you're being punished. And I remember that closet to this day. I remember there was this poster of this girl named Penny, and it was maybe some kind of like bullshit about like save a penny, earn a penny, some bullshit. But I still remember that poster to this day because I remember seeing that closet so much. When my parents figured out all the weird shit these teachers were doing to remedy my mental capacity or whatever it is the fuck was wrong with me, my parents got pissed, royally pissed. And they decided that they were going to take me out of school and homeschool me. So after I go through the 2 grades of terror of bullying from teachers and students and all kinds of shit, my parents just said fuck it and brought me home to homeschool me. And they did a good job at first. They legitimately made a blackboard to teach me, a blackboard that I still have to this day and still use to this day for stuff. I'm not using it for YouTube stuff, to be honest. And my mom actually tried to be my teacher. So that was my new life. I didn't have to go to school. I was homeschooled for like a while. And that was the time of my life, not having to go to school. I could literally just get up, watch cartoons, do homework that my mom created for me in my dining room. And then I'd basically just do like a 4 hour school day. And then I could just do whatever I wanted for the rest of the day, just be fed and play video games and shit. It was fucking awesome. But my mom didn't think so because I was a very bad student. I always made things hard for her, which was probably why things were hard for my other teachers. I was just a hard student, I guess. But I always gave my mom a hard time when it came to teaching me, schoolwork and shit like that. So one day, my mom gets sick. Not seriously sick, just like having like a really bad cold. And after she got better, she just stopped teaching me. Like she stopped teaching me because she got sick, but she just didn't go back. She just kind of gave up on doing it. And so I forget what age I really was, but somewhere across my small childhood, my parents just gave up on educating me. So I am now a 27-year-old man with, at bare minimum, a third grade education. I barely know how to spell. I barely know how to do things. I have very small social skills. Basically, I'm very uneducated. Everything I've learned to this day, I've had to teach myself because after I stopped getting homeschooled, I put all my energy into television, video games, movies, and it's also how I found anime. All those things were how I learned about the world, especially from shows like Family Guy and South Park, which I watched the most. I would then have these events where I would stay up all night watching things like Adult Swim, like when Adult Swim first came around. Being a little kid and watching a program that was made specifically for adults was tantalizing for me. And there I would be subjugated to so many shows that would shape my mental state to this day. Shows like Home Movies and The Brock Show and Harvey Birdman, or Space Ghost Coast to Coast and shit like that. Those are all shows that none of you know to this day, but I still remember them because they shaped my mind to what it is. Things like Family Guy, staying up all night. I would do these things that I would call marathons, where I would just stay up all night watching Adult Swim. Where other kids were getting their good night's sleep, I was staying up watching Robot Chicken and Moral Oral and a whole bunch of these other shows that taught me a darker, more adult side of the world. So basically, I had to grow up really, really quick. We got into trouble because I was seen outside of school, so my parents, got into some trouble a few times, but they never really got around to teaching me. And throughout my entire childhood, I was basically just pampered like a prince. I ate whatever I want whenever I wanted. I played whatever I want whenever I wanted. I went from PS2 to PS3 to Xbox 360 to Xbox One. I went through them all, just playing games, doing whatever I wanted. Basically, just living a thrill, a fantasy life, a VIP experience. But now, growing up, I learned just how much that's damaged me. So, once I got into adulthood, is when things started to get kind of interesting. 18 was pretty good. I had spent a lot of time with my friend. By that time, we'd become best friends. I went through a lot of adult experiences that I won't get into, but things didn't really start getting awry until my 20s. This is kind of where my life kind of shifted into what it is now. I skipped a lot of filler, but we'll get to those in other videos. But basically, one day I woke up to my mom being in the bed and she just couldn't move very well. And I called 911. Some time goes later, and it turns out that my mom got cancer. So she was confined to like this bed. She had like something went wrong with her brain. She couldn't really like talk or really do much anymore. Her face was all scrunched up like Popeye. I don't mean that as a joke. I'm being dead serious. Her head was bald. She just had to like lie in this hospital bed, and me and my dad had to take care of her, bro. So eventually, as time went on, she eventually died. My dad, you know, all I had left was my dad, but all he had was me. We tried to make it work, but 6 months later, I wake up one afternoon from sleeping in, which I regret to this day, just to find my dad's lifeless body just lying in bed, bro. So, yet again, I called 911. I lost both my parents within 6 months of each other. In like 2021, 2022, maybe, I lost them during the whole thing with the pandemic. Yeah, the pandemic took from me, buddy. It took a lot. It took my family, brother. Not only that, a few months after that, a few days before Christmas, I found out that my best friend that I had met when I was like 6 years old, that I was still hanging out to that day. He was the last person I had after my dad died. And a few months later, before Christmas, he died too. I had to watch like 15 people, 15 EMS people, uh, take him out on a stretcher because he was so big. And again, I don't mean that to being a joke. He was just a big guy. He liked to eat. But they literally had to have several people carry him out. One after another, bro. My dog, my mom, my dad, my best friend, they all just died within that short of time. And for a long time, I was left just lost. I had my uncles and cousins by my side, but they've also died and are getting ready to move away too. And I didn't really have any kind of want to be alive in the world anymore. You know, I didn't feel suicidal, but my uncle thought I was, so he took, measures to always make sure I was happy. Then my uncles tried to gear me up for life on my own, and because that's what I had to do now. I had to live life on my own. I had to live in a empty house and get used to it. So as time went on, eventually we had to find a way to make money because taxes were eating me up, and my aunt Mary couldn't pay him forever. So she had to say, "You had to start living your own life, bro. You got to start paying your own taxes. You know, you need to start making money for yourself." So in 2023, in about April, I decided to get a job at Dollar General. I worked there for about a year and a half, and I will tell you this: I have never thought about suicide in my life until I worked at Dollar General. I worked there for a year and a half and thought about suicide 3 times. Those were the only times I ever thought about doing that. Just because of the sheer mental abuse I had to take from like customers and stuff like that, and just occasional abuse I took from my managers and my coworkers. My manager Nina, she's sweet as pie. I love her like family, but there was just always that underlying tension of just my mind just going awry because I was being forced into a life that I didn't want to live. As I said before, what I'm trying to get at is that I lived my childhood pampered like a prince, not having to learn how to do anything. I never talked to anybody. I never went out. I never went to prom. I never went to a school dance. I never went to anything. I missed out on all that. I just spent my whole childhood sitting around doing nothing but playing games all day and watching TV. So I don't really have a social capability of taking care of myself. So that's why I relied on my aunts and all to do that. So that job was the only thing that ever truly made me like a real adult. And as a year and a half went by, eventually I had a small mental breakdown at work, and I had been given multiple warnings about my behavior before, but that was just the last straw. there was this lady that came in and gave me some food because I was telling her that I was hungry, and I was upset because my coworkers were in the back in the break room eating, and they didn't offer me anything. And I know it sounds stupid, but I wasn't really thinking clearly, so I was pissed at them. My coworkers, they thought I was making not making fun, but they thought I was talking shit about my coworkers, the customers, and all that. So eventually, I ended up getting fired from Dollar General. I ended up getting terminated for insubordination, and yeah, basically just kind of lost my job. So I went to just tell my roommate, who was my manager's son at the time. Just sound like, hey, I lost my job and all that. He's like, yeah, you get a new one, bro. It's okay, but I never did get a new one. As time went on, I realized that losing my job, it felt good at first, but I just felt this new wave of depression. My uncles had died, my parents had died, my best friend had died, my aunt can't help me anymore. So I randomly decided to take a video from my phone and post it on a YouTube channel. Now, I was Daniel Blankenship at first, but I decided that I wanted to be something on YouTube. I love YouTube with all my heart. During my childhood, it was one of my most favorite things to be a part of. I always dreamed of being a big YouTuber with lots of subscribers and everything. And honestly, people of the modern age, like IShowSpeed and stuff like that, kind of make me feel like anybody can be famous if they just try hard enough. And so that's what inspired me to, create this channel, create Lord Dragonfire. The reason why I am Lord Dragonfire is, well, I am a lord because I now own the house that my dad left me when he died. So I'm like the lord of the manor. You know, a lot of people think that Lord Dragonfire is like I'm supposed to be like a god or something. I don't claim to be a god. I never said that. I am a lord in the sense that I am the lord of the house. Okay, I'm the owner. I own my own land. I take care of my own home. I'm a homeowner. That's what I do. I'm also a landlord, so I can also be like that. It's also so I'm a lord of the manor. I'm also a landlord. That's how I make my money. I live off of like $600 a month, basically. That's how cheap the rent is, and I use that to pay my bills and I pay my taxes and just that's how I eat basically. I have to eat for free out of a church pantry that's down the street. If it wasn't for that church pantry, I couldn't afford to eat. For the last like 5 years of my life, or maybe like 4 or 5 years, I've just been living in poverty, you know, just trying to do my best. I can afford to have internet, I can afford to have games left from my father. My father left me this Xbox and this TV. Basically, everything in my house is left by my father. I wouldn't have any of the stuff if it wasn't for him because I barely have enough money to support myself anyway. So that's one of the reasons why I started this channel. It was just supposed to be like an escape from my depression from losing my job. That's what this channel was intended to be at first. And I really, really liked Roblox, so I started making Roblox content. And that never got a whole lot of views, so I figured it wasn't really ever going to go anywhere. And then one day I just decided, hey, maybe I'll make a reaction to something because I love reaction videos so much. Reaction videos are my favorite form of content on YouTube. It's what I watch the most of. And yeah, when people started watching my reactions, I noticed the increase in views. Y'all started to tell me I was funny. And when Windows Ultimate commented on my one video that hoops and YOLO tribute, when he told me it was the best reaction he'd seen yet, I knew I had something. I knew I wanted to be a reactor, bro. I knew I could be something, bro. So that is where we are today. I started off as a little kid in a trailer. I went through many near-death experiences. We moved to Kentucky, met some friends, went to school. I was harassed and bullied by teachers and students alike. I was taken out of school, top of my parents. My parents gave up. I spent my whole life or my whole childhood just watching cartoons, playing games, and not socializing with anybody. I barely had any friends, never had any girlfriends, and I was just desensitized by a world of violence and corruption from television and video games to the point where I'm just desensitized to it now. Eventually, in adulthood, my parents are gone, my best friends are gone. I'm now living alone in this shitty ass dirt filled home full of trash, just trying to eat every day, just trying to live every day. And now I'm trying to be a YouTuber every day. Now that I've made a YouTube channel, I'm trying to just live my life on here. I'm trying to make a name for myself. I'm trying to be somebody. I want to be Lord Dragonfire. I want to do a lot with this channel. I want to move it into something truly, truly great. I want to make millions of people smile with my videos. I want to make y'all happy. But I also am using this channel because I want to try to get out the mud. You know, I want to get my education up. I want to go back to school, get a high school diploma. I want to be able to have well-paying jobs along with a well-paying YouTube channel. I have dreams that I want to achieve, but I don't have the money or resources to live the way I want to live. So this YouTube channel is my way. I'm trying to make my name in the world. So this is why I'm doing all this. This is why I'm trying to entertain you all so much. So I can live my life as a little less of a pathetic nobody. So I can actually be someone special in this world and actually give something back to people to make up for all the time I wasted just sitting around doing nothing. So that is basically my life story. If you made it this far, I'm surprised, but if you did, you are a true fan. If you're watching this video at all, you're a true fan. And make sure let me know in the comments how you feel about certain things. There are other things I can tell y'all, but like I said, they have to be saved for, little other stories. I'll make sure to set up more polls so y'all can vote on what you want to know about next. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on my life story, y'all. Everything I said is completely true. These are my origins. I'm Daniel Allen Palmer Blankenship, and this is what I've gone through. This is my audio testimony for the internet. So, and if y'all want to, steal this shit, put it on your channels, I don't care as long as you just put my name on it. Like I said in the beginning, Chill Boy or CJ, y'all want to make animations of this, I'd appreciate it. It'd be pretty awesome to see what kind of crazy shit y'all come up with. If you enjoyed learning about who I am as a person and why I'm doing this YouTube stuff, you can hit the like button. If you didn't really enjoy this kind of content, then go check out my playlist of my reactions. They're a lot more entertaining than this. This was just us, just talking. Just me pouring out my heart to y'all. Because without y'all, this channel would not be anything. The fact that I've gone from like single digit subs to over 1,000 is just crazy. I know nowadays it's not a lot of subs, but to me it's just grand as hell, bro. Like I just think about all of y'all that have given me a chance and given me your support over the years, and just like it's like this huge crowd of people cheering my name, and it makes me feel good that there's actually people that genuinely care about me in this world now, because for the longest time I felt like nobody really did, because I was always isolated from the world and didn't really get to experience all the things other people get to experience. So yeah, I guess that's really it, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you'd like to support my channel and, help me, rise up to fame and fortune, to help me put smiles on more people's faces, subscribe to my channel, share my channel to other people, share to your friends and everything. Let them know about me. No, oh my god, let them know about me. No, what the fuck is wrong with me? Let your friends and family know about me. Let them know about my story. Let them know why I'm trying to do this. Basically, I just want to be someone in this world. I just want to be someone. And most importantly, I want to be someone that makes you happy. So, subscribe if that's something you're interested in. And I'm going to try my hardest with every video. And with 2026 coming around, super grand things are going to come, bro. I want to start making cartoons. I want to start making music. I want to make more gaming content. I want to do it all for y'all. But I can't do it without y'all's support. So, thank you so much for watching this video. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. And I truly love you. Thank you for 1,000 subs, y'all. Y'all are amazing. Peace out.